Good evening, my friends. So let's start with the story that everyone is talking about. The Sun and TalkTV's exclusive interview with Rebekah Vardy on the Wagatha Christie saga. But my question is, how on earth can anyone keep up with the twists and the turns? So this old man will try and put it straight in your head. So it all started with this woman. This is Coleen Rooney and her private Instagram. Now, if you're not sure or you don't know, Coleen is married to England's record goal scorer Wayne Rooney. Now, while she didn't mind the likes of you and me seeing her post, there were things she wanted to keep between her nearest and her dearest. But these stories were mysteriously leaked to the newspaper. So to nail her suspect, Coleen Rooney made her Instagram stories only visible to one person. It was this woman, Rebekah Vardy, fellow wag and wife of another England striker, Jamie. Now, Coleen, come back here. She then fabricated events happening in her life, posted them on her account and waited to see if they would hit the tabloids. And lo and behold, the invented tales were published. She then sent out that tweet. It's Rebekah Vardy's account! Vardy responded poetically with the following: I'm not being funny, love, but I don't need the money. So the argument continued in court. There was a libel trial brought by her, Rebekah Vardy. Coleen, this is her, came out on top, leaving her, Rebekah, devastated, and £3 million poorer.
I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do it, you know. There's lots of people that probably have given stories. I was enemy number one and target number one.
Her team say that they did give you opportunities to withdraw, essentially to stop this from going as far as it did.
You can't enter into settlement negotiations with people that are being aggressive.
So joining me now is model and Coleen Rooney's best mate, Danielle Lloyd. How are you?
I'm good.
What a day.
What a day. What a week.
I know. I wanted to ask you, actually, to start what I said to somebody earlier. Why do you think this story that started on Instagram between two wags, with everything that's going on in the world, the people who are suffering, all this money, all this hassle, why has it captured the imagination of the public?
People just love drama. They just love it. And really, it could have all been avoided, and it could have just been... We wouldn't be talking about it now if the whole court case didn't happen. So.
When you look at it, right, and we've heard Rebekah's side today, read it in The Sun, seen it on TalkTV, you know, you are a friend of Coleen. You found yourself in the middle of the saga. There were messages, look at her face, WhatsApp messages from Rebekah and former agent Caroline Watts, this is the woman who lost her phone in the sea, describing you as a nasty bitch.
I know. How
That's
horrible.
completely wrong, isn't it? You're lovely. We've met before. Apparently, the court was also told that Rebekah threatened to leak stories about you after the horrible miscarriages.
Yeah, that's true. And that was obviously something, like, really traumatic that I obviously didn't want to think about again. And I think it's really horrible for someone to obviously be trying to leak stories about something so vile.
When you see Rebekah Vardy on that interview, emotional, saying, I will never give up protesting my innocence until I'm blue in the face, I'm innocent, I'm this and I'm that. And she was going to leak a story about you, you say, at such a traumatic time. What do you make of that tonight?
I think the lines are very blurred. I think, you know, she's obviously sitting there protesting her innocence, but these stories came from her account, and, you know, there was WhatsApp messages saying that she would be prepared to leak stories on other people, so why would she not leak them on Coleen?
You said on TalkTV earlier in the week, Danielle, you said that you felt like justice has been done.
Yeah.
How would you describe Rebekah Vardy?
Oh, gosh. Can I say? I don't think she's telling the truth. I think, you know, she's trying to save face, and she could have prevented all this. You know, I think, obviously, it's not nice to be targeted by trolls. I think that's horrible and it shouldn't be happening. But, you know, there's things, the messages you can't get away from what we've read.
This is the point. We'll talk about Coleen in a moment and the toll that all of this has taken. But I never understood... Everybody has an opinion, right?
Yeah.
For me, it was just looking in the eyes and I could see it straight away. But what I don't understand is why she continued and still continues. I mean, the judge said that Vardy clearly knew of, condoned or actively encouraged the leaking of personal information, and that basically her testimony was not believable. That is damning.
Yeah, exactly. But apparently the judge was wrong and she didn't have a clue.
Let's talk about Coleen, your mate. And I've met Coleen and Wayne several times, and I like them both, and I'm just being straight about that. What's the toll been on Coleen?
I think it's been really stressful, and I think that's why why she put that text out, because she'd been through hell for 2 years, not knowing who to trust, and I think, like, going through something like that must be traumatic, you know, not knowing what friends to trust, whether it was family. You know, it's been really hard, so I'm glad that she's found out cleverly where it came from.
Coleen has also said that she would have finished this. She didn't want the spectacle that it became, and there is only one person that pushed for that, because Rebekah brought the libel case. Yeah,
she did. And you know what? If there's one thing that I know about Coleen, she doesn't like the limelight. She doesn't want to be a big celebrity. She wants to just be a mum. And
you know, I'm going to say this because I've met her a couple of times, and the last time was in an airport. And you know, you hear about all these wags and all the money and all the stuff. You know, she's got... There's 4 kids running around all over the place. She's doing all the stuff. Her mum and dad are there. Wayne's on the phone, obviously, in the corner. And she's a normal girl. And, you know, a lot of people will criticise Coleen Rooney and say, oh, you've stayed with him despite all the things that have happened. She loves that man. She loves her... Her family is the most important thing to her.
Exactly, yeah.
And you think about what this did to the kids as well, right?
Yeah, like, obviously on both sides, like Rebekah's and Colleen's kids, like, it's just not been nice for any of them. I'm sure they've been getting bullied in school and stuff like that, like, because kids can be cruel. But
social media abuse to them both, to the kids, that just on goes as well, right?
Exactly. Like, the court case never had to happen. No, this interview that Rebekah did tonight didn't have to happen. You know, could have all been prevented.
What would you say to Rebekah Vardy after that tonight, and after the loss, and after everything? What would you say to her?
Honestly, like, there was part of that interview that I just sat there and laughed. Like, it was hard to watch. It was actually quite... I cringed a little.
If you were her, would you now give up the ghost and go away and try and get on with your life quietly?
Like Colleen's done, you know, she hasn't done an interview, or she's just said, like, let's get on with our lives, it's over, it's done, and just move on and be happy.
I think, well, she hasn't, because she's allegedly, I should say allegedly, otherwise I'll get into trouble, signed up for a documentary. And I wonder in all of this what Jamie makes of this, apart from the bill. £3 million. Apparently the Portuguese villa might need to go. There'll be people who can't afford to pay their, you know, their electricity bills going, oh, bless, they've got to get rid of the villa. But it just didn't seem to make sense, did it?
No, there was a lot of things in there, you know, that she said, like, oh, I would never leak a story on someone. But in text messages, you've said that you would be prepared to. She said she didn't need the money, but then there was a text in there that said, I won't pay him for this one. Now, there's a lot of blurred lines, so...
Blurred line with the agent as well. I know she's had mental health issues, so we can't go into too much detail, but that phone in the sea... I mean, honestly, that was like something...
I'd love to get that phone.
You'd love to get that phone, wouldn't you? Just to finish, you are a good friend of Coleen. How is she doing?
No, I haven't actually spoken to her, and even if I did, I don't think I would say, because I think this whole thing is about privacy, and I think, obviously, I respect Colleen's privacy, and...
Silence is golden, though, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Keep your powder dry. Danielle Lloyd, always a pleasure. Great mum, great to have you on. Thank you.